behind yourself to accomplish your goal. That's what I would say to you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let us know how you or your friend does with this. Again, there's two parts to the exercise. One is you take something that's very, very simple that you don't have any excuse to not do. And then, if you don't do it, you watch your internal resistances. This is about getting to know yourself better so that you can get behind yourself to succeed in your own goals. Again, now, dealing with weight loss is complicated. I'm not telling you how to do that. I'm teaching you how to support yourself to go to a direction. Because really you want a medical diagnosis. I will put that out there for you. At some point, if you want to lose 50 pounds, you want to get a pretty good picture of what's going on medically with yourself to begin with. Is there a hormonal issue? Glandular issue? You want to take care of that stuff first. And then you can begin to look at how am I going to change my behavior. So I wish you the best with that, and I hope you do let us know how you do.
I will. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome.
All right.
All right. Well, we did the change time with Zakia, but I'll do it with you again. I thank you, Zakia. Oh, we have to send Zakia an e-copy of the 10-Year Anger Workbook. So please get her email address and please send that to her. The change process, it's change time, involves doing something for yourself that I just kind of coached Zakia in. Pick something that you want to change for yourself. Either something you want to learn or some behavior you'd like to change. Do less of, more of. Identify it. Once you identify it, think about one small step, the smallest step that you can take in that direction. Again, this is about changing your behavior and taking on your internal characters that undermine you. Slower is better because behavior change, that's a life change, takes time to develop a new habit. So really what you want to do, I have my favorite Chinese fortune cookies on my bookcase at work. It says, begin, the rest is easy. So on that note, Doc, we will see you next week.
Hey, Doc,
all the best from Shrink Different. Please let us know if you're experiencing any positive results.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
Hey, we actually have one more caller on the line, one more question.
Okay, let's go. We've got a couple more minutes. Let's do it.
This is Chris. I have a young man who's staying with me. He's 19, almost 20. He's trying hard to grow up. He's trying hard to be a responsible young person. And he's having trouble with a lot of... you can see him get caught up in a spiral in his head where he just keeps going over the same questions that have no answers over and over and over again to the point that he can't sleep. How do I help him get out of the spiral?
Okay. What you're talking about, is it fair to say that what you're talking about is obsessive thinking?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And by his own admission.
Okay. So, the thing with obsessive thinking, the challenge is you think that the thoughts that you're having in your head are important. So you keep revisiting them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. Once you realize that there's a difference, not all the words that you hear in your head are thinking. Thinking is when you're figuring something out. Thinking is when you're making a plan. Thinking is when you're making a decision that will influence your behavior. Thinking is when you are writing a novel and all of a sudden you thought of a very cool phrase that is going to come out of the mouth of one of your characters. That's thinking. I just read a book by Phil Jackson a couple of weeks ago called 11 Rings. I'm a total Lakers fan. And he refers to it, it's a Buddhist concept. He calls it monkey mind. Monkey mind is the repetitive chatter in your head that seems as if it's thinking, but it's not. So I'm going to reframe your question, Chris.
Okay.
How can you make a distinction between monkey mind and real thoughts? So, the first question is, are these thoughts meaningful for me? And so what I would recommend to somebody with obsessive thinking is, if you have a new thought and you think it's important, write it down. Have a little notepad, put it on some computer gadget you have, write it down. The next time you have that same thought, because in obsessive thinking there's a lot of repetition, the next time that you have the same thought, you remind yourself to take a breath. Now this goes back, some foundation here. Okay. There's an old story where they say, if you ask the Buddhist monk, who are you? The monk will say, I don't know who I am, but I know who I'm not. I'm not my thoughts, says the monk. I'm not my feelings. I'm not my possessions. I'm not my attitudes. So when you're working with obsessive thinking, it's important to know that you are not your thoughts. You are not your mind. You have to find another center for yourself. You have to find a place that you can go to inside of yourself that will ground you. I told the story several weeks ago about Odysseus and the tying himself to the mast. If you can learn how to breathe in your body, now I teach a deep belly breathing for this exercise. So if you begin to practice the belly breathing and identify the monkey mind, as soon as you're aware that your monkey mind is about to influence you, you take a deep breath in your belly and remind yourself, I am not my thoughts, or any kind of mantra. You can listen to the farthest sound. The key is you want to break your identification with your mind. This is the foundation of all meditation. And so it becomes really valuable for somebody at that age who's being swept away by their thinking to begin to practice to get grounded in their body in a different way. So there's learning how to breathe in your belly. You can put your hands on your belly right now with your thumbs on your navel and breathe into the palms of your hands so you feel your breath expanding into your palms of your hands and going backwards toward your kidneys. That's the mast. You're going to breathe there. As soon as you recognize that you're having an obsessive thought, you shift your breathing and then repeat a mantra. It could be, I'm okay. It could be you listen for the farthest sound. And you tell yourself, I am not my mind, and practice it. Gradually what will happen is the mind will calm down. The mind will calm down. Now, in the same as I said to Zakiya, sometimes, depending upon what's going on, you might want a psychiatric examination as well. But to begin with, I would want to teach this meditation practice.
Cool.
I hope that helps out.
a lot.
Okay, let me know how he does. Let me know how he does, or have him call up.
I will. Just the concept of the monkey mind, that will be a huge thing for you.
Yeah. And the way you honor what might be a really good thought is you write it down. But you don't have to write it down more than once.
Right.
So the second time you hear it, you can tell yourself, I heard that. That's monkey mind. Take a breath. Break your identification with your thinking.
Okay, that'll help him a lot.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Have a good... I'll speak to you all next week.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
You've been listening to Shrink Different on TFOK Radio. Join us again next week at 7 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, keep making change.